I am Anala D. I'm here this morning with Family Unification Network. I have with me today Miss JoAnn Cash-Owens, who is the founder of FUN. I also have with us Miss Katrina Butler, who is going to be a guest on the show today, and also I believe works with FUN as well. We have Miss Jenny DeMont with us also today, who is going to be contributing to the show. And I believe Miss Sarah Cordley is also coming into the room. I'd like to welcome all of you guys. Again, I am Anala D with the Shift Network, and I'm so happy and so thrilled to have JoAnn Cash and the FUN team with us today to talk about something that is so important, and that is providing soap for those who are still incarcerated, who remain behind the bars. So what I'd like to do right now is I'd like for Miss JoAnn Cash to please introduce your team that you have with you today.
Okay. And first and foremost, Ms. Anala, I just want to say thank you to you for giving Family Unification Network and these other ladies an opportunity to participate in this kind of forum to help us get the word out. We have Miss Katrina Butler. I'd like to introduce her first. I met Katrina while I was at Whitworth Women's Facility in Hartwell, Georgia, providing a curriculum. And she was one of the members of the class. And I could not remember her name for years, but I always remembered her face. Many of the ladies who would see me in there, knowing that I had been previously incarcerated myself, would say to me, I want to do what you're doing. But Katrina said, when I get out of here, I'm going to come and work with you. And God made that happen. And I am just so thankful. I keep on telling her, don't let me put too much on her, because she never should have told me she wanted to work with me, because I think she will attest to the fact that she has worked since she met up with me. And I thank God for Katrina. Jenny, I don't really remember, but I think I remember the face now, as well as Sarah. These ladies were incarcerated, and they were recipients of receiving some of the dial soap that Family Unification Network was sending to the prisons. And to not have any contact with anybody, with these ladies, and to make a call and ask them to participate in something like this, and they show up. I want you all to know that that's not something that I take for granted. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I've not had any contact with these ladies in 20 years.
Wow.
But they're here this morning. But guess what, ladies? We've only just begun. Y'all won't just get away this time. I'm just.
That's great.
I am.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just so thankful for you all taking the time to do this.
Not a problem. And I want to just say, I'm not, I've also been incarcerated. I was right there with you. This is one of the reasons why I give back. This is one of the reasons that this is my way of giving back to those who were left behind. And the Soap-A-Thon to me is so important, because I remember those days when you got this little teeny piece of soap trying to wash your bodies. And I was so thankful. Of course, I had family that, sent money and I could buy things, but there were so many people. All the thing they had was these little pieces of soap. And if quite frankly, I didn't like buying the soap from the store, because the soap was so expensive. It didn't make any sense. You paying $5 for something you could get for maybe $2 or something. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so thankful that you guys, that FUN, Family Unification Network, is doing this and providing soap to the women that remain behind the bars. So right now, JoAnn, if I could call you JoAnn, would you please tell us a little bit more about FUN, Family Unification Network, and talk to the public about Also your television channel and how what that's doing and all of that. Give us a little bit of feedback. Give us a little bit of feedback on the organization. I know it's a nonprofit.
Yes,
501
we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And as of April the 11th, we're 30 years old. So we've been around quite a while. While we've done a whole lot more than soap, because this is our 13th year providing soap for the prisons. But way back when I was involved and had a counseling service, and we could provide services for children because funding was available, but there was no funding available for parents. And we used a holistic approach. We found that working with children and sending them back into the homes with the parents using the same techniques, we were not getting the results that we could have gotten had the parents been involved. So that's what gave life to Family Unification Network, because it was a nonprofit. Then we could go after funding to help parents participate in the counseling services with their children. We work with the juvenile courts, we work with court services, we work with school systems, we work with churches. Our whole mission is to provide a need, to provide some services, because parents' needs simply were not being met. And we're talking about 30 years ago.
I understand. So tell me more though about fun and why why soap? I told you I was so thankful, but tell me why soap in the prisons? Why did you take on this challenge?
Well, when I left Washington State Prison, the day that I left a farewell letter on the bulletin board. And I reminded the ladies that they were their sisters' keepers, and that one day I would come back to see them. But I gave them my word that no matter what, I would never forget them. So when I got home, initially, we provided Christmas packages for ladies who didn't get outside support.
Great. How many packages did you give out that year, JoAnn?
I did me a little bit of homework. I think we did 270 packages.
Wow, that's a lot of packages.
Between Arundel and Pulaski to the women. And each of those packages, it costs between $50 and $65 to get the items that the ladies wanted for Christmas.
Wow.
So
and
that's how
how many bars of soap were the women able to get in those packages?
Well, we weren't doing soap. We weren't doing soap then.
Oh, okay.
We were getting the how it started. Some of the ladies that I left there, we had contact, and I would say, if you know of anybody that's not getting anything for Christmas, a Christmas package, send me their information, and I would get some of my friends to adopt them. Got so that's how we did with the packages. But when the economy changed and they had shortages of staff and had to cut back, the Department of Corrections no longer had the staff to, they said they no longer had the staff to check our packages for contraband. So I said, well, what else can we do? They said, well, you can just send us some money. I'm like, no. I said, tell me what the need is, and we'll see what we can do about that. And this all started with Chaplain Johnny Jett at Arundel State Prison. His coordinator, chaplaincy coordinator, Barbara Pritchett, said, what about soap? That say, you know the kind of soap that they give. These ladies need a good antibacterial soap.
Got you.
So is that something you would consider? So when I spoke with Chaplain Jett, I said, she's asking for soap. I said, how many bars is she talking about? He said, well, what we really need here at Arundel is about 4,500 bars. I almost passed out because I've never
I
had
can
anybody
imagine.
ask me for 4,500 anything. And that first year, not only did we come up with 4,500, that goal that year was 5,300, and that was our first year.
Wow.
So that's what gave birth to the Dow soap drive, because at that time we were using Dow exclusively because it was known for its antibacterial factors.
But you will accept other types of soap besides Dial. Is that correct?
We have expanded because for whatever reason, it's extremely difficult for us to find Dow soap now. So what we've done is we have opened it up, and not only Dow, we now collect Dove and Safeguard, the
Okay.
4-ounce bars.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand this. So for soap, you are looking for Dial,
Yes,
Safeguard, and Dove. Is that correct? Those are the
that is
three kinds
correct.
of soap that you are looking to get. Oh, great. That's good. I want our public to know that JoAnn Cash just mentioned that the types of soap or donations to buy that soap are for Dove, Safeguard, and
And Dow.
Dow. Very good. That is wonderful to know. So let me go to one of the ladies just for a second. Katrina, Miss Butler, when you were incarcerated, how did you feel when you were able to get some bars of soap and know that someone on the outside, in this case, fund, cared enough to make sure that you got soap? And how many bars were you able to get when that soap came into the prison?
Yes, I mean, it was a very great, it was really good experience. As you said, dealing with the blue soap, and the blue soap is so hard on our skin with women when we go inside. It's very important. We try to hold on to anything where we can keep, take care of our skin. So that blue soap that we were given for free, I mean, it was so strong. You can use it for so many different purposes, wash your clothes, hair grease, whatever it is. But yes, when Miss Cash and her team came through, and we would get 2 bars each and of the Dow soap. And for me, like Miss Cash said, it was really, really important because it was antibacterial. I mean, for myself, it was really, I worried about that a lot because all the germs and everything that can be, when you're living with, we were in a dorm of 52 women. And so, of course, you clean and everything, but, people get sick, there's germs, there's things going around. So I was so excited about, having a soap that was antibacterial. So therefore I can make sure that I am, cleaning myself, as well as possible. But yeah, it was always a blessing. Not just the soap, but just the energy and the friendliness that they brought in, to let us know that we mattered. That went a long way as well.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Katrina. And that's important, that when someone is giving you something, even though if they're giving it to you, you need them to give it to you. You want them to come in with a good attitude. You don't want to having to stand in line for a long time to get something and someone is really mean to you or nasty to you. So I get that. Jenny, tell me about your experience and getting soap. Tell me what that felt like for you. What was that like for you, being inside of those walls and someone caring enough to give you some soap?
Yeah, I felt really appreciative to know that someone was thinking about me, especially during the holidays. It was obviously very difficult being in there. You felt deprived of, basic needs like everyday human life type of things. But I actually do remember JoAnn Cash-Owens coming in, and she had a heart of gold. She really loved people. So it really gave me hope. Honestly, it gave me a lot of hope to know that there were people that, weren't looking at you like you didn't deserve anything, or, you were just below everybody. She, ventured out and, made you feel cared about. Soap was really awesome. That's like a gold mine in there. To have something good. The blue soap they give you was actually strong enough. It would like bleach your white clothes. So you don't really want to put it on your skin,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was extremely grateful. It went a long way, honestly.
Thank you so much for that. Sarah,
Thank you.
tell us your story. Share your story with us about how you felt and, how many bars of soap did you get in, where you just tell me about how you felt.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of family support while I was incarcerated. So I didn't have the hygiene products on, store. I didn't have a whole lot. So we would look forward to Christmas time. We knew we were getting this hygiene package. We knew we were getting, and it would stock us up for a good while, but not only just that, like the way they gave it to us or the way they would package it or put little notes in it and the little, you know what I mean, in the little Ziploc baggies and whatnot. Like it would, it meant something, because when you're in those situations and you're behind the walls, like you feel like you're forgotten, you feel like you don't matter, you're just a number. But somebody took the time out of their day to go out and find things that you needed, not just wanted, but needed. And then took the time to package it and send these little verses. And, it just meant a lot more than just a bar of soap. Like we were something to somebody, and that's really important in there.
I am about to just tear up because that's making me feel so good, because I remember that, and it's important that people care. And I know for our public that's watching right now, I know some people, and I've heard people say, well, they get things in there and they shouldn't have done or whatever, but you never know. You never know when it's going to be you or your family member. You'll be happy that someone took the time to write you a note, send you a bar of soap, or even some toilet paper in there. So I want our public to expand their thinking and expand their love. And in fact, everybody talks about how much they love God and talk about the Bible, but the Bible said, visit those that are incarcerated, to do that. And when you do that, you are doing that for God. So let's remember that. JoAnn, tell the public how much soap you're going to need for this upcoming year.
Okay. One thing that I did not mention, which is for me probably the most important thing about the soap, is each bar has a scripture attached to it. And it's there to encourage these folk. We've received letters from inmates saying what a difference that scripture made, kept them from doing foolish stuff, at a time. I've had letters from guys who said that, I've been in the hole for 3 months, and that scripture is what kept me from trying to commit suicide.
Wow.
So that's real important. To answer your question, before I answer your question, to date, as of December 31st, we have sent in 518,070 bars.
Wow.
That's over 500,000 bars, and each bar has had a scripture on it. So far this year, 2023, we have a satellite location in Blakely, Georgia. And right now they have collected approximately 4,000 bars. Here in Atlanta, they have collected 7,600 bars. But what we need, our goal is 55,000 bars. So we are about 45,000 bars short of what we need for this campaign this year.
Okay, great. So, all right, yes, JoAnn, that was going to be what I wanted to say next, because we don't want anybody getting off this line and not hearing how they get that soap to you. So give us that information, your email or the phone numbers or whatever they need to do, or they're going to send cash or they're going to send a check, and how did they get that information to you? Give us all the details.
Well, they do have options. Our website is www.familyunificationnetwork.org. You can go there. We have PayPal, we have Cash App, we have Zelle. Or if you want to mail a donation, that's Family Unification Network, P.O. Box 3, Union City, Georgia, 30291. If you have questions, You can call us at 770-703-3371. But I spoke with the chaplain at Coastal State Prison yesterday. He called to say it's soap time and we're counting on you. We depending on you. And I said, well, how many bars do you need? And I still haven't gotten used to these kind of numbers. He said, oh, we just need 2,000. So just like I heard from the chaplain at Arendelle State Prison, because that prison is relocating. And it was a former men's institution. And of course, nothing personal, but women tend to be a lot more particular about hygiene than men. So she said, we really need our soap this year.
Very good.
And I said, well, how many bars are you talking about? She said, it would be great. When we started out, each lady received 3 bars. If we could get 3 bars for each of our ladies, we're talking about 4,200 bars. And that's just for one prison.
Wow. So how many prisons do you support with soap?
That's what I was going to ask too.
Well, look, we stretch it as far as we can, but thus far, we have been, Georgia has 34 prisons.
Wow.
And thus far, we've been able to get it into 24 of the 34.
Wow, that is wonderful.
Wow.
Katrina, would tell us when you think about the women in there and what they are dealing with, because I don't think a lot of people, and I want to ask the same thing of you, Jenny, and you also, Sarah. I don't think a lot of people really understand the magnitude of what people are going through when they're in there and not getting the things they need. I mean, I understand it because I've been there. So Katrina, tell us a little bit about, I mean, I know the soap, but what else, when you get those packages and when you don't have the things you need, just tell us a little bit about how does that make you feel?
Yes, most definitely. Just from my experience being on the inside and my work details, being chaplain's assistant and also counselor assistant, I was able to be part of handing out, the soaps and getting the indigent packages at quarterly for women that did not have support from family. And from my experience, that can be as high between 1 to 2/3 of the prison population.
Wow.
So therefore, and even if they do receive financial support, a lot of times that is used to purchase food because of, the quality of food that you receive while you're on the inside. So unfortunately, that leaves your hygiene products last, and then you have to utilize what is supplied to you by the facilities. So it is detrimental. It's really, really important. It's life-changing to know that you have a good quality soap that you are cleaning yourself with. Like, Jenny said, the soap that they do give you is so strong. We've all witnessed it. We all know the different ways that soap is used, but unfortunately, not everybody has the means to buy soap off the store, off a commissary. So they have no choice but to use the blue soap. When the Dow soap ran out, you used the blue soap until you were able to get more. And again, you're talking about, this soap is so hard on a person's skin. It's life-changing to know that you are nourishing, because that's what it is. The same way your body needs food, your skin needs to be taken care of as well. So you are literally nourishing your skin, and you feel better. I know it may seem a little foolish, but you almost feel healthy that you're taking steps to take care of yourself as much as possible. Depending on the circumstances that you're in. So it's really life-changing. It really boosts your confidence to make you feel good about yourself, that you are taking the little steps that you could just to take, to care for your skin, to care how you look, and feel better about yourself. It gives a little, that's so, like we all said, was like a little ray to the, or pipeline to the outside world, which we're cut off from. So
I
it lets us, it lets us know that, you know, there's still a ray of hope out there for us.
Absolutely. Now, Sarah, you mentioned that you didn't necessarily have that outside help to help you get things. So tell us about the process, because people don't understand. They think, oh, well, if they don't have it, somebody in there, you know, the government, the system will give them that. Tell us about what it takes to even get an indigent package. I mean, is there like paperwork and all that stuff?
There is first paperwork you have to apply through chaplaincy, and you have to not have any money on your books for like 3 months. And you know, if you have family who, like my dad would help when he could, or when he thought about it, or when he wasn't working, you know, he would try to send something. But if he sent something and it was just like $20, so that $20 then knocked me out of the running to get indigent, you know, hygienes. So then I have to go without, you know, and it's really difficult to time those things because like you need stuff immediately. But if you can't get those indigent hygienes, then you're going without for an even longer period of time. And of course, your family on the outside doesn't understand that. Like they don't know how it works in there.
That's right. Wow. So I want to repeat what Sarah just mentioned, because that's so important. So you don't really get that much, you know, those people, those that are our sisters and brothers who are behind the wall. You don't really, if you don't have family that's sending money once a month, every week or whatever, but every now and then they might send you maybe $20. So now you can't even fill out the paperwork where you can fill it out, but now you can't get the indigent supplies at all, because now you got $20 on your book, but you probably use that just to buy some food because the food is so bad in there. So now you can't get the indigent package. Man, that just doesn't seem right, does it? Okay, how about you, Jenny? Did you tell us about your experience, you know, about getting the things you needed, and if you had to support it, did you have to fill out paperwork to try to get an indigent package or something like that?
Yeah, so actually I did have the support. So I was extremely grateful for that. But I did see a lot of people in my dorm, especially for things like hygiene, they were willing to like wash someone's clothes for a week in the sink to like get hygiene products, and people were willing to pretty much do other people's responsibilities and, you know, chores within the dorm, just to get a bar of soap or shampoo. And you know, there were very kind people in there, like, you know, people that had commissary, you know, we would like help people out, you know, get them some soap. But it was so difficult because there were so many people, honestly, that did not have support. So, you know, there were only so many chores to go around. It was extremely difficult to see people struggle, you know, and that's why I said I was extremely grateful, because even though I wasn't indigent in prison, for me it was the hope, you know, to know that people really care that much to bring you soap. Those small little things, really, they make a world of a difference, and they really shape your future when you get out, right? Someone giving you hope to get through a time that difficult, especially when you're, you know, spending 5, 10, 15 years in there, you know, it changes your heart. You know, it changes your heart, and it makes you want to be that way for other people. So it's really paying it forward. You know, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's just soap. No, it's not. It's not just soap. It's hope, you know, it's hope, and it's everything, you know.
I love that. I love that you said that. Now, JoAnn, let me ask you a question. So when people donate this soap and donate the money to get soap, are people having to complete some type of paperwork to get a package from you guys? Are they having to complete something to be able to get that soap, or do they just get the package because you sent it in?
Because we sent it in, and we're so blessed. Initially, Don Bainbridge of Vernon Bush used to get the soap into the prisons for us, but he passed several years ago. But the soap drive is now statewide, and that's partly because of the partnership with my church, First Corinth Missionary Baptist Church, with Reverend Dr. Eddie L. Jones as our pastor, as well as the General Missionary Baptist Convention of Georgia, that's comprised of over 600 churches. Initially, with the soap drive, members would bring bars of soap to their churches. You know, when they came to service, they would just have their little bag of soap. And that's one of the, folks say, well, why are you out here begging for soap and don't go to these corporations? I looked at the senior citizens that would come in my church with a cane in one hand and their purse and this bag that may have 4 bars of soap. They were so proud to have an opportunity to do something for somebody. I just refused to deprive them of that opportunity. And I just kind of got into watching them be so happy knowing that they could do something. There were Sundays at church that they would come in and they just slide the bag down by my feet. I knew what it was. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't take a step. I'd have so much soap. So that's why, and to this day, we have yet to seek corporate sponsors because, like I said, the General Missionary Baptist Convention of Georgia, I had an opportunity to address their usher boards and speak before 2,000 people. And they brought 7,000, 8,000 bars of soap.
Wow.
So this is how the soap has come in. And all of this has been prior to the pandemic. But the pandemic changed everything because so many church congregations have yet to come back together. So it's best for us now if we receive donations. And we have a team who will purchase the soap. We have a state coordinator, Mamie Johnson. She and her team will purchase the soap. And that's when we have the packing party. We have packing parties, and that's where the scriptures are placed on the soap. And we try and pray over every bar of soap before it leaves us. And we have a waiting list. Just like I said, I heard from the chaplain at Coastal State Prison down in Savannah yesterday, saying, don't forget us. We don't have to worry about getting the soap to them. We have a waiting list. They come and get it.
That's great. I do want to go back on something that you said, and this is important because when they donate to fund money for you guys to buy the soap, they get to write that off on their taxes. And not only that, if fund go and buy the soap because you're a tax exempt organization, you can use your tax exemption and not have to pay tax on the soap. So
absolutely,
so yeah, okay, great. If you want to bring some bars of soap and to the church and get it to them that way, or you want to have whatever address and ship a truckload of soap. But it's even better if you donate because now you can just write that off on your taxes.
On your taxes. Yes, but if you want to donate soap, it can be donated. It can be delivered to my church on Tuesdays. I spoke with my pastor, and he assured me that he would have someone there ready to receive the soap on any Tuesday. And that's First Corinth Missionary Baptist Church. And that's 2165 Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway, Northwest, Atlanta, 30318.
Great.
First
I'll put
Corinth.
that in the chat too, because what we will do is when we will make sure that everybody gets that information as well. But would you repeat that address one more time?
Okay, it's First Corinth Missionary Baptist Church, 2165 Donald Lee Hollowell. It's Old Bankhead, y'all. Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318.
But one of the things that we're doing on this broadcast is one of the reasons why we like people to get on and talk about what they're going to do, then shout out, and because that's promoting their business. And so when a person, this is going to be all over. This not only is it going to be, it's live right now, but it's going to be worldwide. So everybody's going to hear about the person's business who's donating to fund today. And it's important that, because it's like getting free commercials, as a matter of fact. So therefore, we really want people to bring something to the table that's going to help this organization. Now, I know we also have Betty Jenkins on, and I didn't want to not give you an opportunity, Betty, to say something if you wanted to. I know that you don't have your camera on, but I wanted to see if you wanted to say anything about the Soap-A-Thon or anything about fun. Yes, just coming off. Yes, Betty Jenkins.
Okay, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? All
Absolutely
my
great.
friends, how you doing? Good interview, great interview. Anal and JoAnn. I really love it, and I found out some things that I didn't know. My son is incarcerated at Washington State Prison, where JoAnn was incarcerated at. So it's a men's prison now, and I met JoAnn in 2017, and I assisted in the soap drive in my county in Georgia. I'm living in Jacksonville, Florida now, and I assisted her in that. And among two churches in Georgia, we collected over 700 bars of soap, and that 500 bars of it went to the Emmanuel County women's facility in Swainsboro, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to send it to them. The chaplain Suzanne Haynes came to my little hometown in Georgia and picked the soap up herself for Emmanuel County. And I plan to donate, still continue to donate to JoAnn. This is when I had my entity of in Georgia, re-entry in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
When I started with JoAnn, and she came down, and she, with the Station of Hope. That's what I was working with, the Station of Hope, and JoAnn came down. So I've known her since 2017. But this is a good thing here, and I really didn't know about like the indigent care, the money and everything, because there have been times when I couldn't send my son money, but I still get his packages every quarter or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
But
I want to make sure that I understand what you just said, Betty Jenkins. You said that you are going to, this year, you're going to also donate soap to fund. Is that right?
yes, I am.
Oh, great. Have you, do you know the number or the amount?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I don't get out and about that much. I do a lot of things at home here. I'm going to send JoAnn a donation. I'm going to mail a donation.
Okay, very good. And I think that JoAnn already gave that address, and we can get what you.
Oh, I have the address.
Okay, very good.
She has it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. We want results. We want results up in the house. Now, JoAnn, today we're just doing an interview because we are talking about the upcoming Soap-A-Thon. That's going to be the main attraction in the house. So why don't you tell us about that Soap-A-Thon that's coming up on what date?
The November 18th, is it?
November 18th? Okay, is it? Okay, let's just see.
Wait,
let me look at.
well, look, my nerves are bad. I don't remember.
Oh, you better
it's in
stop saying
November.
that. I think it's supposed to be on November the 4th, right?
November 4th.
November 4th, right? And it's going to be 11 to 5. And now,
yes.
This Soap-A-Thon, from my understanding, this is when you can really shout out about your business, your church, your organization, because when you get on there and you call in whatever lines that JoAnn's going to give us today, whatever phone numbers you're going to be able to call in on, or if you don't have them ready, we will get that later. You'll be able to call in, make your donation right on. Listen, you guys remember Jerry Lewis when he used to do those telethons? Remember that?
Yeah.
It's going to be the same type of thing, but this time we're going to be getting soap for those who are behind the prison walls. So,
That's going to be nice.
Yes, it's going to be very nice. And
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And what we're going to do is people, the companies, organizations that give soap, they're going to get a shout out right there on the show. So JoAnn, tell us about that Soap-A-Thon that's coming up on November forth.
We're just excited to have this kind of opportunity. And just like you said, you know, those that call in to make pledges, they will get, their companies will get shout outs. And these shout outs, y'all, look, believe it or not, will be going all over the world.
That's right.
So this would be the best opportunity possible for you to get free advertising. We just want you to, my goal is to get this soap into the prisons because I know what the need is. I know what the need is. We have two numbers, of course, Family Unification Network's number, 770-703-3371, as well as 678-545-2819. Those are numbers that you can call in to make your pledges. But we want you to participate in the Soap-A-Thon.
We want corporations, we want individuals, we want everybody who cares about anybody, whether you have someone in prison or not. And you heard these ladies, you heard from Jenny, you heard from Sarah, you heard from Katrina, you heard from myself, you heard from Betty Jenkins talk about how it's like and what it's like to be behind those walls and not being able to get the things that you need, especially soap. And yes, women are still women inside of those walls. They want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel pretty and all those things. So soap is one of the things that's important. When they feel clean, they feel better about themselves. So JoAnn continues to talk about that Soap-A-Thon. And I think you have an acronym for soap. Tell us about that acronym and what that means.
But yes, we do. SOAP, that S, we ask you to stand with Family Unification Network on the soap drive. We need your help. That O, open your heart and support this drive. That A, appeal to somebody you know. And you know, as quiet as it's kept, everybody knows somebody who's been impacted by the criminal justice system.
That's right.
And that P, practice that golden rule, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know, it's but by God's grace that any of us go. Do we look like convicts?
Say that again.
Do we look like criminals? If nothing else that comes from this today, those of you who are watching, be careful. You never know who it is that you're dealing with. I hope this helps to reduce the stigma associated with individuals who have been incarcerated. You know, I've had, because I'm an older lady, I'm thinking that's a part of it. You know, I've had folk come to me and say, well, you don't look like you've been in prison. Well, what are you supposed to look like?
Thank you. You don't look like what you've been through.
Look at, you don't know my story now.
That's exactly right. Let me. I know that you have 3 levels of participation for the Soap-A-Thon that's coming up. Tell us about those 3 levels, JoAnn, if you would.
I'm still working just a little bit on those, so I don't really want to put that out there today.
Okay.
But what I want folk to know is every bar counts.
Very good. Every bar of soap.
Every bar counts.
Every donation counts too.
Every donation is going to lead to a bar of soap.
I love that. I love that.
Look, every bar counts.
And so give us that website again where they can go if they're going to make a donation and not send in a check or something like that. What's that website again?
It's www.familyunificationnetwork.org.
Very good.
And just click on that donate button.
And I want to just one more thing, because I know we're kind of getting to the time, but I wanted to, before we take a round robin and get everybody to leave their final thoughts. You have a television channel called Because We Care. And one of the things that you said before when you were talking about your nonprofit and the things that you were doing before, you know, nonprofits, one of the things that I teach, and that is, even if you are a nonprofit, you should always have a way to sustain yourself, because you can't always depend on government grants and corporations giving you money and even individuals. So I think that was a smart thing for you to do, JoAnn, and that is to get your a television channel where you can talk about what you're doing, but that channel also helps to sustain you. And tell us what you're doing with your Because We Care channel that is on Roku and on Fire Stick. What can people do to help this cause so that, you know, by this time next year, you won't even maybe have to ask for soap, I mean, because you would have those types of money going into that account to buy the soap. Tell us about Because We Care a little bit.
Well, Because We Care is designed to, it's for the justice impacted, by the justice impacted. It's to spotlight the impact the criminal justice system has made on families. You know, when it comes to crime and whatever, and you see the defendant in court, and if he's convicted, he goes through these doors, and that's the end of it for the most part.
He or she, right?
He or she. But he or she has family that's still out here that's impacted over the fact that he or she went through those doors. And if I could, I'd like to give Katrina an opportunity to talk about Because We Care, because she eats, breathes, whatever, this channel. She has been the wind beneath my wings. So Katrina, talk to them a little bit about the channel, if you would.
Yes, we're so excited about Because We Care. This is a tangible evidence that although people have made some desperate or not healthy or decisions that caused them into the journey of incarceration, they are still people, and everyone still has a story. I try to tell people all the time, there's a difference between being criminal minded or making a bad choice. And there's so many individuals on the inside that have made bad choices for whatever reason their story led them to do that. But ultimately, everyone has a story. Because We Care allows individuals to have a safe and comfortable platform to tell their story, whether it's those that have their own nonprofits, wanting to give back, wanting to show the world about their work, to unselfishly give to the community and say, gather together to make the community stronger, to give the community a voice, the justice impacted community a voice, to let everyone know people are still human. We're not just robots or dogs you throw away in a cage. We have family. Our families matter. Our families are out there grinding and suffering just as bad as we were on the inside. It is a global effect to where incarceration affects not just the person on the inside, but it reaches out to everybody that person is attached to. So this is a great way for everyone. I know a lot of individuals come home and they say, what can I do? How can I make the change? Because We Care allows you to be the change. And the way how you be the change is reaching out to on the website. And if you have content, video, whether you want to advertise your organization, you want to talk about your story, whatever you have that's in a video content, we can place it, get with us, place it on the channel to bring light to your story. Because I promise you, there's somebody out there where your story will help, that your story will touch the heart. And we have to fight. We have to open our mouth to be that change that we want to see behind the front doors of these households.
Absolutely. And I know that another thing that you guys are doing, that is that how does individuals like Mr. Big's company or any other company out there, they can even advertise on your channel. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
most definitely. And there is on the Family Unification website, if you click on Because We Care on that page, then you'll be able to get that contact information, and then we can get with you as far as how to go about getting your video content, your advertisement, your commercial, your shorts, whatever you have in a video that in a video format onto the network. We reach out to you, we get back to you within 48 hours of time, and we're just ready to receive as much content as the population has. Anything and everyone's story matters. It doesn't matter if you think it's small or irrelevant. Everyone's story matters. And Because We Care is that platform where we are willing to receive your story and because, especially because it is a global network, it is shown all over the world in different languages. So we're just so excited about this opportunity, because it is one thing that on the inside, they try to smother your voice. Because We Care allows you to have a voice and to speak loud.
I love that. You're absolutely right about that.
And the reason we do it is because we care.
I love that. And so now this is an opportunity when people hear this, because I hear people say all the time, well, you know, all these nonprofits and they they need to go out and get a job. Listen, this is the way that this nonprofit organization right here, this 501c3 tax exempt organization is providing a platform so you business people, organizations can advertise your product or services or advertise whatever you have going on, get it on their show so that other people hear about you. And not only that, you are getting you're not just sending a check to somebody now, you're getting something back for that check that you wrote. So think about that. That is very, very, very important. So now what I want to do now, because we pretty much have kind of run out of the time. JoAnn, I'm going to go to Sarah and the rest of your guests, your team here. I want them to tell us what they want to leave the public with, and then we're going to have you finalize your thoughts about what you want to leave the public with. So we'll start with Sarah. What do you want to leave the public with as it relates to the Soap-A-Thon and what people are going through on the inside, Sarah?
Yeah, again, I want to circle back to like, people feel forgotten behind those walls, and everybody wants to make a difference and have some kind of impact. This is such a small way that you can give back to a community that's otherwise overlooked. It doesn't take very much. It doesn't take much time or effort, but the meaning behind it and how impactful it is to the individual, like, it's really worth the cause,
I like that. Absolutely. Worth the cause. And remember that, guys, it's worth the cause. Jenny, what do you have for us?
I just want to say, I hope everyone opens up their hearts to do this. I know I am, right, Ms. JoAnn? These things, yeah, they're very overlooked. And it seems like just a small gesture, but it really goes a long way. So I just encourage everybody to, if you're feeling like you want to donate around this holiday, this would be definitely the spot to do it, because you can really, really help people change their hearts and who they are. It really shapes people.
Thank you very much for that, Jenny. And Betty, do you have any lasting thoughts that you want to leave with the public?
I definitely will continue to donate as much as possible and do whatever I can. In Florida here, even though my son is incarcerated in Georgia, trying to get him Jacksonville to be his permanent address, but I still want to donate in Georgia and do whatever I can and what I did in the past.
Thank you so much for here. Katrina, your lasting thoughts for the public. Tell us about.
Yes, foremost, I can't leave this without just saying this is a God thing. This is a heart thing. Jesus told us that when he left, that we would be able to do what he did and much more. And he cared and he treated others. He did not forget about the meek. He did not forget about the fatherless, the motherless, the sisterless, the brotherless. When we allow God this opportunity to reach out, like everyone has said, to touch people's life, what we are allowing, we are being the vessels for our Heavenly Father, whoever you call him as, or that spirit as. It's unselfishly taken of your heart to reach back to others. Everyone can change. Everyone can turn their life around. Everyone deserves a second chance, and everyone deserves to be loved. And these bars or soaps are little deposits of love in people's hearts when they do receive it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Katrina. Now let's hear from Ms. JoAnn Cash-Owens, who is the founder of FUN, Family Unification Network. What thoughts would you like to leave with the public?
Probably for me, first and foremost, I have sat here and just fought tears. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. And I don't understand why God chose me. Even when it comes to this television channel, he showed me the channel 30 years ago. But up until my relationship with you, there was nothing. But I knew he was going to do what he said he was going to do. That word is not going to return void. And not just about this television channel, it's about anything. There's nothing too hard for God. If you trust him and make him head of your life, he's going to come through. And that's what he's done for me when it comes to BWC, Family Unification Network, and just the fact that he allowed me to wake up this morning and be here and be a part of this. You know, trust God. Folks say, well, how you doing? I tell them, God is faithful and prayer still works. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, thank you so much for that, JoAnn. That's your story and you're sticking to it. Let me tell you something. This JoAnn Cash-Owens, I tell you, Betty Jenkins introduced us, and I am so thankful. You don't know who you're going to meet that's going to connect you with someone else, that's going to connect you somewhere else. That's why you never just write people off, because you don't know what God has in store for you. So I appreciate the work that you are doing, JoAnn, that you are doing for FUN and what you're doing for Because We Care. So I'm talking to the public right now, and I know we have a lot of people that's live watching us. I know Melinda Langston is also watching us. She was also incarcerated. She's out there making sure that people get on this call on the Facebook side of the business, on the live side of the business. So I'm talking to everyone that's out there. Make sure that you go to the Family Unification Network .org website, make your donation. You can get the address of where you can deliver the soap from. I'm assuming from the website as well. Make those donations. Do what is right, because you never know when it's going to be your time or your family's time. I'm Anala D with the Shift Network. We are so thankful that you took out your morning to come and join with us today as we talk about the upcoming Soap-A-Thon that is going to be held when?
November 4th.
All right, live. And on
that
live is going to have we're going to have some entertainment and all kinds of stuff on there. So we are looking forward to all of you joining us on that day. With that being said, thank you very much for joining us. This is Anala D with the Shift Network. Until next time.